On Extra Credit, finding the right career for you. Help for distinguishing fact from fiction and hot jobs you don't want to miss. Stay tuned.
This program is made possible in part by the state of Michigan and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Some of us aren't here to make friends. Students sign their name to make it their own.
Really, this show is about hearing from us.
So, guess what our theme today is?
What's our theme today, Paige?
It's careers. It's about what type of careers you would like to go to when you're older.
How much older?
Just whenever you're of age.
What's of age? Old enough to work.
Whenever you're ready to work.
Hello, my name is Chase. I'm a part of the Michigan Learning Channel Youth Advisory Council, and today I'm in Novi, Michigan at the Michigan CareerQuest, and today we're going to learn about new and exciting careers in Michigan that you can pursue. Let's go take a look. What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Andy Dubuck. I work for Washington Community College. I'm an instructor for CNC machining and also robotics and industrial equipment.
What got you first into this job?
I wanted to do machining. I wanted to build stuff. So I came to Washtenaw, and it gets wrapped up in a larger program that involves not only the fabrication for these things, but also the automation for the robots and the industrial equipment. And I thought it was all interesting. So that's what I ended up doing directly after I graduated.
It seems very interesting. So what does a typical day in this job look like?
Well, I'll do machining. For this type of thing, you walk up to a machine like this, and it doesn't have any of this equipment installed inside of it. So it's our job as machinists to put the vise in there that'll hold the workpiece, and then we have to put the tool inside the spindle and set it all up. And then you make a test part, and then you have to adjust it and make a correct part. And then after that, it's like mass production, basically.
What is the correct part you're talking about?
You make a part that looks like it's correct, but you have to measure it and then get all the dimensions perfect to make like an in-spec part. Because you imagine like if this is a part for an engine or something, like it has to be very accurate to be a functional workpiece. Once that's set up, then at that point it's hitting the button and letting the machine create multiples.
What kind of education would you need?
Well, we do certificates that are generally about 20 credits, but we also do an associate's degree, which is about 70 credits. And at that point, you're ready to just go out to the workforce and get a job doing this. It pays pretty well, and there's pretty high demand for it these days.
Would we be able to look at a couple machines that you have here?
Oh yeah. In fact, you can make a part.
Oh, really? That seems so cool. All right, let's take a look. So how would I start making this piece?
A couple things. The first is you have to take this blank and then install it in this vise. Put it horizontally, tighten this up. I'll put my finger on there. Is it tight? Okay.
Yep.
So that's in there. That's the hardware side. Now let's do some programming.
Okay.
So hit edit. And this is all pre-programmed to do most of the motions that you need, but we have to put your initials in there. So I'm going to go down to here. We do parentheses and then type 3 letters. And then in close parentheses, hit alter. That'll change the code. You can see there it is. Hit memory. That'll jump into the correct mode. Hit reset. And now it should be good. We just have to shut this door.
Very exciting.
So now, the last thing is hit cycle start whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. I like it. You're a machinist.
I feel like people should start with what they don't want to do. For me, I don't want to sit in the office all day. I want to do hands-on stuff. I don't want to just be stuck in one place. I want to go to different places. I want my job to be able to travel. I don't want just like a normal desk business office.
And that's a great place to start, I think, because even if you don't know exactly what you want to do, you can at least have a list of what you want that job to entail instead of looking specifically for one job.
Yeah.
And I know that it's easier than ever to find like internships and opportunities to do these types of things or like for jobs.
Yeah, and sometimes when you do that internship, you realize like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, and that's okay, because it's not like you wasted 30 years of your life doing a job that you realize you don't want to do. You did it in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long an internship will be. And schools make it so much more easier for you to have an internship
Exactly.
too. Like the schools will literally reach out to people just so you can get that internship. So I feel like that's a really good thing. And I feel like the next generations growing up are gonna have like
just opportunities everywhere. It literally could be that. So just taking a part of activities and doing clubs and looking for internships and careers and at least inquiring, like that's slow motion better than no motion. Like get up and go do something whenever you want to, but the earlier the better, because the earlier you do it, the more time that you have available to do that, and the more you know before later.
Hi, my name is John Sloan III. I am the founding CEO of Ghostlight Creative Productions and the producing artistic director for the Obsidian Theater Festival. Theater, film, we have the ability to help tell stories. We have the ability to help put artists of different identities on a stage and to put them in a different platform and to make those stories accessible and available to people of different identities and backgrounds. So what makes my job cool is I get to spend every day with no rules. I get to create new projects. If somebody says, hey, I want to write a play about X, Y, and Z, that's always on the table. Any film project, any music project, everything is a possibility. I think it goes back to my parents. I started playing the violin when I was 4. My mom and my auntie are music teachers, and so music was just kind of ubiquitous around the house. And my father is a great lover of culture. So books were present, music was always present, and I grew up with this understanding of the arts not as something separate, but as something ingrained and integral to our society as a whole. Being able to communicate with people, understanding that listening to someone isn't just listening to their words, but it's listening to them, their body language, the tone of voice, their intentional and unintentional communication, and being able to kind of meet somebody where they are. So for anybody interested in going into theater and film, I would say first, you've probably heard this already, it's hard. You have to really want it. You have to practice and roll up your sleeves and go to work every day. But that's not too different from every profession. There are different hours, you're gonna miss some holidays, you're gonna travel, you're gonna have to be on the road. And it really comes down to how much you love it. My profession, my livelihood, is largely framed around people having disposable income. And that has been difficult when, in the middle of a pandemic, people don't want to get together in a room full of strangers. If there is a potential growth opportunity from all of this, though, it's the fact that as technology increases, as we are able to stream theater and film, ballet and opera, we're also able to break down barriers.
It was really great that he was like, he knew what he wanted to do. Like, I think one of the most important things, even if you don't know what you want to do, is to be confident in what you're going to say and in those goals that you're going to make for yourself.
Yeah, and another thing is some people say they don't know what career they want to go into because they're embarrassed of what career they want to go into. And I am a victim of that. Yeah. I do that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like, what do you want to do? I want to be an actor. And then it's just like, oh, well, you know actors, da da da. I'm like, oh, I'll make it.
It is getting kind of like, no, it was kind of weird for me too, admitting that I would like to do art. Because everyone's like, the starving artist, or you're not gonna eat, or you're just gonna draw pictures and hang them on your wall and nobody's gonna buy them. And that's like, okay, that's great. Don't get on me for wanting to be an artist. And so, but I would lie to people and tell them I want to be a doctor. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like a neurosurgeon or something.
I'm like, oh, I'm undecided yet. I'm just doing general studies right now.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, yeah, I do that all the time.
What do you do when you've got a research paper to write? These days, you probably do an internet search and cross your fingers that you'll get some good results. But when that search list populates, how do you know which sources are the best and most trustworthy to use? How do you tell what biases it might have? And then, how do you make sense of it all and use the facts and data being presented? What we're really talking about here is something called information literacy. Hi, I'm Andrea Pisani. I work with students every day to help them explore their passions and make great futures for themselves. Let's talk about the skills everyone needs to make it in the 21st century. 21st century skills. As defined by the American Library Association, information literacy is a skill that helps us to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. Basically, it's the ability to know when you need more information, how to know if the information you're looking at is truthful and useful for your needs, and then, once you have the information, the proper ways to use it, including citing your sources to avoid things like plagiarism. So, why is it important for the 21st century? Imagine you're trying to plan a dinner party and you go online to search for recipes. You find a great one for a veggie lasagna and follow the instructions exactly. But when it's time to eat and you open the oven, it doesn't look like any lasagna you've ever seen. And when you take a bite, it tastes worse. What happened? That's where information literacy comes in. Understanding how to evaluate the credibility and accuracy of the information you find online, you can avoid making bad lasagna or making other important life decisions. With information literacy skills, you'll be able to sift through the clutter and noise online and find the information you're looking for. Information literacy is like a giant filter for your brain, only letting the good and useful stuff in and keeping the garbage out. It is important to know that information creation is a complex process, and it's important to understand how it all works. Just like cooking a meal, you need the right ingredients, a good recipe, and the right tools to make a great veggie lasagna. It isn't fast or easy to get all of that together. Information creation requires time, effort, and expertise. It's important to understand the steps involved in creating information so that you can evaluate the information and determine if it's reliable. Information has value. It can be used for education, influence, and negotiating and understanding the world. It's important to understand that information can be wielded by powerful interests in ways that can marginalize certain voices. Think of information like money. Some people have more of it than others, and they can use it to their advantage. And sometimes information has monetary value. So it's important to understand the value of information and how it can be used to make informed decisions. Information literacy is also a highly valued skill for employers. With information literacy, employees can find the information they need fast. It saves time and resources. No sifting through pages and pages of irrelevant information, or worse, false information. With information literacy, employees can present ideas that are well-informed, researched, and credible. Who wouldn't want that in an employee? Okay, we know what it is. We know why it's important for the 21st century. So, how do we improve our information literacy skills? Understand how to use the information tools you have access to. Knowing how to use a search engine to find just the right information you're looking for while filtering out the information you don't need is a great skill to practice. Read up on how to use keywords and filters to find what you're looking for. Best veggie lasagna recipe. Check multiple sources. Just because you found something on one website doesn't mean it's the truth. Get in the habit of checking multiple sources. Are there differing opinions on what you're looking for? Take a look at all sides and understand the biases and reasons behind the information you're reading. Consider your source. You wouldn't take dental advice from your friend who has a lot of cavities, right? I mean, He's around the dentist a lot. No, you're going to take dental advice from your dentist. Look for evidence. You should be able to find the same information using multiple sources. But sometimes all of those sources are using the same source of information. Dig deep and get to the truth. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're having trouble finding good information, don't be afraid to ask for help. Librarians and experts in various fields are always happy to help you find what you're looking for. Information literacy is a powerful skill. It is a key skill in learning how to teach ourselves. It helps us filter out the noise of our digital world, understand multiple viewpoints, and become truth seekers. If you want to learn more about 21st century skills, be sure to visit myfutureofwork.org. There you'll find a series of videos that take a deeper look at each of the 3 L's: leadership, learning, and life skills. And you might even find something that will make you laugh while learning. Who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to trust things that could be easily edited by anybody without like credentials or something. Like what Miss Pisani was saying, why would you take dental advice from anyone other than your dentist? Like, if someone's gonna say that their tooth hurts, that may be a medical condition. That may be a whole different problem. There are so many references and suggestions and experiences that other people have had that they put out there that you can never just tell if there's one thing or another. And it's way, way, way better to just trust a professional.
Yeah, I will never Google a symptom I have ever again.
No.
When I tell you Google told me I had cancer, bro, I was like,
Google will let you know that you have 5 days left. Like,
yeah,
Google
like,
is going to tell you that this is your last 20 minutes.
that's what
But it is a really important skill. If you don't know anything about information literacy, it's very important to learn as quick as you can, because even before technology, you had newspapers, you know what I'm saying? You had books to reference from. Like, there's always been a reference from somewhere, you know, like nothing has happened that hasn't happened before. Everything's happened already. You know what I'm saying? No experience is individual. It's not the only time it's happened. And somebody has written about this at some point, especially with the way that information is being shared today.
Hey guys, it's Callie here with Extra Credit, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience working on the set with you guys. I got the chance to help co-host Extra Credit about 2 years ago, and I immediately jumped at the chance. It is such a great experience. I couldn't wait. It was so much fun working with the crew and PBS. They were super nice and welcoming, and I got a chance to get my makeup professionally done, read off a teleprompter. It is so cool, and I was so excited. I highly recommend, if anyone has the chance to do anything like it or work in the broadcasting, they jump at the opportunity and say yes.
We're the official, one-stop shop for all the data you see on the labor market and, the population. So when you read about the unemployment rate, that's us. When you hear about jobs that are in demand, that's us too. So really, we cover a lot of ground. We do a lot of work. We have the Hot 50. It's a poster. It should be in many of the schools around the state. It's also a flyer. So students should be using this when they're talking with their parents or their counselors or their friends. What this product does is it identifies high demand, high wage jobs in the state. And it also cuts off jobs that pay below a median wage. Now, the 51st job is not a bad job, but we have to cut the list off somewhere. So what those jobs are intended to do is tell people, give them an idea of where the future demand will be. The career outlook is just a different take on the hot jobs list. Instead of just taking the 50 jobs in the state that are high demand, high wage, this is also looking at jobs that are high demand, high wage, but by different training levels. So you can look at the bachelor's degrees, you can look at the, the associate's degrees. So it's a great tool for students who want to sit down and look at, what are the hot jobs for the level of training that I want to get. We find that when we work with people who may have barriers to work, If all they see is the hot 50, that could be a limiting list for them. They might feel they can't and don't want those jobs. So what this allows someone to do is look at what are the in-demand jobs that don't require a college degree, that don't require any training beyond high school, and it still gives them some guidance on what jobs are out there. One thing that I would encourage students to do with this data is look for some jobs on these lists that they like, that they think would be fun, and reach out to employers to see what a day in the life is like. And then working with their schools on things like apprenticeships or on the job training if they're doing a 4-year experience, exploring an internship or other ways that get them in the workplace doing the work so they can apply the skills they're learning in school to the jobs that they want to do.
I think another way you can inquire about jobs and other opportunities is definitely talking to more people, but also talking to people that you know about their job. Like, there's a lot of people I know and they work, but I don't know where they work or what they do, or if it lines up with anything that I'm interested in. And even then, like, I wouldn't be able to ask them because I don't know what they do. So asking them about that goes a long way, especially when you can find out about more opportunities. Like what I did back in 2021, I think it was GDYT, Grow Detroit's Youth Talent, and they will hire you whether you're 14 through 21. And I'm like, that's beyond high school. That's great. That is great. It's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late. A lot of these opportunities give you space and room, and I think that's great.
Take advantage of the opportunities that your school is presenting to you. Don't be one of them kids like, I'm not doing that because it's not what... I said the same exact thing and look where I'm at right now. Like,
in the couch, on the chair, in front of the camera.
It makes me so, like, mad to see kids like my age and senior like, oh, I'm not doing that because it's not what I want to do in my life. I said the same exact thing, but me going on that job shadow, me coming, like, if I wouldn't have went to school that day, I would not be here right now.
Yeah.
And I begged my mom to make me stay home that day. She was like, no, you going to school. And I'm glad she made me go to school that day because I would not be here right now.
Yeah. It's some people that think, like, if it's not something that you want to do, then don't do it. Sometimes you don't even know if it's not something you want to do. You know that it's not exactly what you had in mind. Not if it's not something you don't want to do. Try it out. Like, do what you can, not what you want. Going to school, that's a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to go do. Like, but you're there. You might as well
make the most of it.
Exactly. Like, at this point, take advantage of what you have in front of you now, because that will likely not be there when you graduate. Once I graduated, I couldn't access my school email. I have to deep dive for that information. And even then, I still probably won't have access to it because I'm no longer part of that school entity. Like, I'm an alumni, you know what I'm saying? And I have a life to proceed with. Like, I can't stay in high school. But all the stuff that you can do in high school and all the stuff that they're offering you, take advantage of that. Please, please, please. Just go do it. Like, even if it's not something you want to do, put it on your resume.
Exactly. It's okay to not know what you want to do with your life. Just have something. You know what I mean? Like, have some type of experience of something. Like, I don't want to be an engineer, but if I were to do some engineering work, that would probably set me for a few years until I figure out what I want to do with my life.
And engineering is a good trade. That's a really good trade.
Engineering is a really good trade.
You can check out that on Career Center where we did explore that trade. That was awesome. But there are so many other resources and ways to explore that. And you can start in high school. Start in high school. Like, if people just start at high school. Just start at high school. It's more connections. It's more everything. Access.
Yeah, you never know what some, like, just because I'm an engineer, that doesn't mean I don't have connections to someone that's a model or someone that's like voice acting or something. Like, just because I'm an engineer, that doesn't mean that I can't help you get to where you want to go in life.
Exactly.
So don't ever rule somebody out just because of what their career is. Because I could be like a nail tech and I don't know, like 80 people in LA right now. Like,
Connections.
That's what I'm saying. Connections is a very important thing.
Very important.
Don't be to the point where you're like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody and I'm scared. You're gonna be scared, but you need to talk and you need to network yourself.
Yeah, that makes the world go round. If you don't know nobody, you gotta talk, or else I don't know. You have to talk to people to know how to talk to people. It's like a learn as you go thing.
Yeah.
You gotta start.
That's why communication is key.
Oh, another episode. Communication, learn how to talk. Learn how to talk in the previous episode.
We want to hear from you. What's something you'll do today to prepare for your future? See you next time.
This program is made possible in part by the state of Michigan and by viewers like you. Thank you.